Welcome and glad that you found this video. This video is going to be my attempt at going through my entire process for trading on TCDB using a PWE. If you don't know what that is, that will be explained. It's going to be a how-to video, but it basically just goes over what my process is. Why am I qualified to do this? Not sure that I am, but I do have over 100 completed trades and have learned a few things along the way and figured I would share this with new people who are starting on TCDB, or someone who's had a lot more trades than me could watch this and they could comment and going forward improve my process so it gets better. So hopefully you stay with me till the end and you enjoy this. The goal is to not only explain what I do, but try and explain why I do it so that you have an understanding that you're not just blindly doing something. You actually have an understanding of what the point is. And if you think your way's better, then you could explain your way, and I may switch to that. All right. So who is this for? It's for anyone on TCDB who wants to do a trade, and this can be very specifically to PWE trades. The different sections of this video are going to be what is TCDB and a PWE, section 1. 2, how to find a trade partner for a PWE trade. 3 is how to propose a PWE trade. And 4, how to package and send that PWE trade out. Okay, I'll hop right into section 1. Let's go over the initialisms in the title. So TCDB is the trading card database. And as you can see on the screen here, it is up. If you type TCDB into your browser on your computer or on your phone, it will go to this site. This site assumes you already have an account. It's not going to show you how to do that, but you need to create an account on here in order to do anything that this how-to is going to show you. It's a multi-featured website. There's a lot on there. We are not going to cover every single feature on the website. That's not what this video is for. It is just to go over the trading aspect of this, and then even narrowly within the trading aspect, a PWE trade. What does PWE stand for? We already went over TCDB, now PWE. That is plain white envelope, which is a type of trade for your trading cards. Not all trades are PWE, but this video is going to be exclusive to that. I'm focusing on those because all of my 100 trades so far have been PWEs, so that's what I know. And I actually like those type of trades. So my goal when I'm trading is to get my cards to my trade partner in the same position they're in now. That is number one. So we decide on a trade. Some of my cards may not be perfect shape, but I don't want them in any worse shape when they get over to the person I'm trading with. Secondary goal is to do that as cost effectively as possible. You don't want to spend a lot of money on a trade. PWE might be for you. And if done properly, a PWE can accomplish both of these goals, get the cards there in good shape, and be cost effective. So let's talk about a situation where a PWE is a good option. Anything more than $20, you should not be using a PWE. So if you have several 52 mantles in mint condition that you're trading, then a PWE is not for you. Also, the value of the cards that you have in the transaction should be more than $1.50. That's sort of an arbitrary number that I picked out. But if it costs you 55 cents to send something, and that's only worth 25 cents, then it's the post office that wins that transaction and not you or your trade partner at that point. So you at least have to make it worth the postage in order to send it. And then you don't want to get too crazy and have it get lost because there's no tracking when you have $100,000 worth of cards in there. Okay. Secondly, the amount of cards that you're trading. So a PWE, you can hold up to 28 cards. A lot of people think that number is 6, 8, 10, but you can go all the way up to 28. 1 to 18 cards, you can get away with 55 cents. Just one forever stamp currently as of 4/1/2021 when this is being recorded. Up to 27 cards with an additional ounce stamp, which is up to 20 cents now. It went up from 15 to 20 at the post office. But if you need that additional ounce, you can put another stamp on there. You have to be okay without tracking for the PWE. You're just putting it in an envelope, you're putting it in there, and you're hoping it gets where you sent it. No way does it tell you where it is or if it got delivered. That is not taken care of for 55 cents. One of the reasons why a large dollar amount card, not a good idea in here, because if it gets lost, you have no insurance on there, and you have no way of tracking where it even got lost. Your trade partner has to be okay with the PWE. That's another big one. There are people on the site that hate them and will not use them. So you don't want to trade with one of those people if you're using a PWE. That you should clear it with them first and let them know that you're planning on using a PWE, and they may say no, in which case you shouldn't be using this. So in the inverse, when you should not use a PWE is your cards are expensive, you have lots of cards. If you're trading 500, 1,000 cards on the side, certainly you can't fit those in an envelope. Your trade partner wants tracking. Maybe it's important to them that it has to be tracked. PWE's out. And if your trade partner hates them, then you can't use them. How to find a trade partner for your PWE trade. There are some prerequisites to this one. It might seem obvious, some of these, but I'm going to go through all of them so that even the obvious is stated in this process. So you have to have a trading card collection in order to make a PWE trade. It doesn't matter what kind of trading cards you have on the site TCDB. There's a lot of different ones. It's not just baseball or sports even, but you need to have a collection. Otherwise, you have nothing to trade. You have to have cards in your collection entered into TCDB. So if I go here, collection, you got to have cards in there. If you don't have cards in there, then you can't trade them. So if I have 500,000 cards sitting in my house, but 0 of them entered in the site, then you can't use this. So you're going to have to put your cards into the database. You have to have cards on your for sale trade list. That's down here. If you don't have anything to trade, then you can't trade. So you have to designate cards that you are willing to give up to get other cards. If you're someone that doesn't want to get rid of any of their cards and can't part with them, then trading is not for you either. Also, you need to have cards on your want list. There are several people I've run into on the site that have cards for trade, but they don't want anything. So if you don't want any cards, then you obviously can't make a trade for those cards that you want because you don't want any. So you have to indicate in the database which cards you are okay to part with and the cards you're looking for to get. You can also use your profile to make it easier for you to trade with. So there's a section in there. What it does is it allows you to write stuff about yourself. It's kind of an open-ended, and you could explain exactly what you're looking for, which sets you're working on, different players you like to collect. All that can be in there so that someone who's trying to make a trade to you, that you're helping them, even including what condition you like your cards in, any specifics exactly. If you're very nitpicky about something, put it in there so they know. And then each time you go to make a trade, you don't have to tell someone all this stuff. They can go and read up on there. So once you've loaded up all your trade list and your want list, you can just sit back and wait for the offers to stream in. That is one thing you can do. So you load up both of these and you sit back and say, all right, I'm available for trading. Now go ahead and start making offers to me. You will be a lot more successful, I've found, if you go out and try to initiate some offers yourself. This is more work for you. It is. But you also get to trade with a lot more people because you're putting in that work and they don't have to. They could just say yes or no, and it's a lot easier for them. You want to receive alerts when items on your want list or for sale trade matches other members' lists. So what it does is it sends out let's see here, messages. It sends out a notification to you that says there's an alert that says you have matches. And then what you do is you click on that. There's two different ones, one for your want list and one for other people that want stuff on your list. I think the one where other people are looking for your cards is a lot better, especially if you're initiating the trade, because then you could find stuff that they want. So you're trying to fulfill their wants. So I just went to this first one and we'll take a look. It says these people are matching me. So Shaw Racing is looking for these cards, and I happen to have these cards that I am willing to trade. So, and you can look at all these. I don't know if these are all. See, there's different people. And so there's several different people. So if I look for this one and look for Shaw Racing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it, link in a new tab. Now I have Shaw Racing here. And I'm going to look at his. Now, like I said earlier, you can put information about yourself. I can read what his information is. He's got a lot of stuff in here about what he's looking for, what he likes to trade. Cool, that's giving me some good information. PWEs are welcome. That's good news for me because I'm a PWE guy. Cool. So there's a feature down here called trade matching. That has been fairly new to the site and very good. You click on that, and that says everything on his want list that matches yours and vice versa. So we have 7 cards here that that I want on his, and there's many cards here. Look at this, there's quite a few that he's looking for that I have. So when I was going not for my want list but for someone else's want list, now I can decide is this person a good match, and go, yeah, I think I'd want these 7 cards, and I could probably find cards of equal value that I can give up in order to make this trade successful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in for a trade proposal. So right here, propose a transaction. And then I want to trade, so I'm going to do next. And that's going to set him up into composing. So right now, I don't go back and do the trade. I'm just setting someone up because I found a potential someone who I do want to trade with. I'm putting them on my list. So that's one down, and I could go through all of these and look through. Is Rich P someone I'd want to trade with? Let's look at his trade match. Okay. So there's only 6 that I want to get back, but he's got several too. So looks like another good potential match. I'm going to put him on my list too. Propose a transaction and a trade. Now, when it's more convenient to me to actually set the trade up, I have him as a potential trade partner. Okay, so that is pretty much it on how to find a trade partner. 3 different ways. One, they just come to you and they ask you for a trade, and then that's how it starts. You go into your notifications, and it says here's some people that might match. Or you could go into trade matching, which we can go over that one too. Or I always have to use the link from there, and I haven't found this link anywhere else on the site, so I'm going to go in there. But this is a new report that lists who programmatically it decided were the people that you could trade with. So you could just use this because the trade match here is 80. If I click on that, so 80 means that between your want list matching and their want list matching yours, 80 is the lowest number. So there's a lot on both sides here. So this is a good match. And say you had five cards for sale, it only counts that as 1. So if you had 80 cards that were all the exact same card, the number wouldn't be 80, it would only be 1 because there's really only 1 card you want to match there. Okay, so that is how to find a partner. Next up is going to be how to propose a trade. Okay, I'm all set to propose a trade, and I had one here for a while on someone that I wanted to trade with. I even went back and forth with them messaging, and they said that they are, open for trading right now. So once I click on that, it says, what do I have to offer and what would you like in return? So this one really depends on the match on which one I like to start with. If there's only 3 cards that they want to mine, I'll put my 3 on there first and then try to find matches. So I usually like to start with the one that has the least amount of matches, because it's easier then. If I look and there's 80 cards that I want from someone, and then I load up, 27 of those cards to fill up the whole PWE, and they only want one of my cards, and my card's only worth $2, and their 27 is worth $12, then I can't make that trade because they're not gonna go for that. So I would just put my one card up and then try to find whatever cards would, once I'm done with the right amount on their side, then I send the trade. So this one has a lot on both sides, so we'll just start here. And what you can do here is go to their profile, look at the trade match again, and then take a look. So what am I looking for on this side? I'm trying to complete the 78 set, so maybe some of those would be nice. I collect Cubs. There looks like plenty of Cubs on here. I'm also working on the 1991 Stadium Club. Looks like he's got a few of those. And a lot of Cubs. So this is a good view into everything that you have in common. And you could just sort of go over the trade at the beginning in your head. Okay, well, I think, these are the ones I want, and these look pretty good, in order to give him. So since I have the least amount, I'm going to start and say what I want. Select my items, and I'm going to match by set. Now, I wish you could just match from between all of the things you had in common, and that feature's not available yet. Maybe by the time that you watch this, it will be though. So I said I'm trying to complete the 78 set. So let's see what those is. Okay, nice. He's got all the conditions in here too. Not a lot of people have this, so now I know that there's 2 Craig Kusiks. One is good and one is VG. Yeah, let's see. I'm actually fine. My 78s aren't that great, so I'm actually okay with good. Fair, that one's in pretty bad shape. I'm going to add that to the transaction. So right now we have 4 cards. I said earlier that we can go up to 27 that you want back from him. Usually I don't go that many for the person that's sending them to me. I like to keep theirs, not run up their bill and charge them the extra ounce. So I try and keep it at 18 or lower, unless they, say otherwise. So we got 4, so that means we have potentially 14 more that can fit in a single PWE. So I'm going to add more. Go by set again. I wanted those stadium clubs. So let's see. There's only 3 of those. So we are up to 7. Let's see what else we got here. Baseball. Tops update at 83. Chris Bryant's pretty cool. And then I'm going to fill it in by Cubs now, so I'm going to go by team. And usually I get a lot of Cub matches because that's what I'm looking for. So let's put some of these baseball's best on here. And we got to get a Sandberg, my favorite player. And let's put this one on there too. Okay. So now we have 15 cards. That looks pretty good. Now I am going to use my calculator, and this is a step that adds a bunch of time, and a lot of people don't like to do this. I am someone who puts the effort in to try to get my site pricing very close on the same side. So what I'm asking for and what I'm willing to give is going to be very close on the site pricing. And how you do that, and I have a feature request in where it would show you what the site pricing is right here, and it would even add that up for you. But it doesn't do that yet, so you have to go into each of these individually. So that one is worth 20 cents. So I'm going to do 20 cents. Now I'm going to go to this one. 23 more cents. So this is one where at this point I can fast forward probably through this. And the site pricing is very controversial. A lot of people hate it. Some people like it. Definitely, pretty much everyone agrees that it is not 100% accurate. But the reason why I use it is because I want to do a fair trade. And if you don't think the site pricing is right, at least I am making an effort to use something to say that it's not just me, my opinion that this is fair. The site is actually saying it's fair due to the pricing. The pricing is not again, it's not accurate in a lot of cases, but at least it should be inaccurate in a similar fashion. So if you say, well, this card's only worth 10 cents and it says 50, usually it's not wildly like this one is way overpriced and this one's way underpriced. It's usually too high on most of the things, I would say. But I'm at least going to my partner and saying, hey, I am trying to make a fair trade. I'm not here to rip you off. I want to improve your collection and my collection at the same time. And I got triple of this guy and none of this other guy. You have triple the guy I want. Why don't we just swap them? And now we each, are getting what we want. You're looking for a win-win on the transaction where you're improving other people and yourselves at the same time. That one's 0.15. So right now I'm at 637. I'm definitely over my $1.50 range. Would it be worth me spending 55 cents to get $6.37 worth of card? I say yes, it would. And that's up to you, your own opinion. But I think it's worth it for that. Okay, so $10.24. That's the total on the cards that I have here. So for me, in order to be fair, I have to come up with a similar number for my side. If I can't come up with $10 worth of cards, I'm going to have to start taking cards away that now I'm not going to ask for anymore, because it's not fair of me to ask for $10 worth of cards if I'm only going to give up $2 worth of cards. So do I have to give the exact amount of cards that, there's 15 cards? No. Maybe I have one card that's worth $10 and that's it. I just send him one and he sends me 15. Maybe it's the opposite way. Maybe, 2 versus 12. But that's the nice thing about putting a dollar value on the cards, is that you can trade cards that are not exactly the same. They're from different eras, different companies, different sets, and in the end, you can put a price on those. So, a bunch of lower priced cards may be equal to one, higher priced card. And that is all very subjective to you and your trading partner. Maybe you don't want a bunch of cards for one card because your star is, you think is worth, way more than his 15 commons, even though the site says so. And it's within your prerogative to not propose that kind of trade or not accept it if someone proposes it to you. A lot of guys don't like doing different eras, like vintage for new. To me, I don't care either way on that one, as long as my brand new card might be worth, if I get a 1 of 1 on somebody that's good from 2021, that might be worth me giving up a good old vintage card, because let's just say they're both worth $10. That the dollar transcends the era to me, so it doesn't matter. But some people won't make that trade. They want older cards for older cards or newer cards for newer cards, and that is up to you and the person you're trading with. So let's find some cards that I would like to trade to him. Right here, this indicates how many I have for trade. So I like to pick cards that I have a lot of. And why is that in particular? One, because if I have 6 of them, it's easy for me to give that one up because I have a lot of them. Just off the. 2, if I'm picking one that I have 6 of them, if there are any condition issues with my cards, I will be able to pick from a larger amount of them. If I have 5 of them, the chances that I have all in horrible condition are a lot less than if I just have one. I'm stuck with the condition I have on that one. And another third one on that, why I would pick one where I have a lot of them, is so if another transaction comes up and somebody wants that card, or I want to trade it to someone else, I can include it again in that transaction or make a trade for it with someone else without worrying about it, because I had 6 of them, so I can trade them to 3 different people at the same time and still have 3 left. So this says right here that I have enough cards on there, according to the site, where I'm giving him $12.90 and only asking for $10.24 in return. Again, I think that the prices are off on this, on the new cards. So I'm still going to add some more on my side because I want to improve his collection and I want him to improve mine. So I think I can throw some more cards on here for him. So it says I got $13.35 worth of cards to his 1024. So now I'm going to send a message. Okay. And I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to submit and propose that. So now we're at the point where we sit back and wait for him to respond. Could that happen in 5 minutes? Potentially. Are there some people that are real busy doing other things and could take weeks to get back? Potentially with that too. So at this point, we sit and wait for him and see what he says. And next up, we are going to do packaging up and sending out the PWE.